Recently, Vanessa Marshall, the voice of Hera, was interviewed by The Nerdist, and she specifically answered some questions about Kanan and Hera's relationship. Now, some people may not have seen this relationship coming, but for those of you who have read A New Dawn, you know that Kanan has always been very interested in Hera. But let's move on to the interview written by Amy Radcliffe. She starts by saying, fans of Kanera, the ship name of Kanan and Hera, have likely noticed the duo has seemed cozier in trailers for the upcoming season. Vanessa Marshall thinks Hera's starting to realize how possible it is to lose her closest friends. I think she is softening when she realized just how much it would impact her if she were to lose any of her family members at this point. That is new to her because she's always been more about the mission and not about the personal. She opens up and gets more personal in season 4, not at the risk of jeopardizing the mission, but she allows herself to care deeply and even more outwardly about all of them. That extends to Kanan. As it's getting more dangerous, the thought of losing people becomes ever more real. It makes them realize how precious life is and that they need to really value every moment together. So thanks to Amy and the Nerdist.com for interviewing Vanessa and giving us some insight into the ship that is Kanera. But I don't think this is a good sign personally. Think about it. Why is Kanan and Hera finally developing their relationship in season 4? Why would the writers leave this until now? Well, I don't think you're going to like my answer, but here it is anyway. Kanan and Hera are finally developing their relationship so that when Kanan dies at the end of the season, it seems like even more of a loss. So we feel the loss of the character so much more because of these two developing that relationship even more. Writers are supposed to create emotional responses in their readers and their viewers, and sadly setting up for us this season. To further support this, Filoni recently mentioned in an interview that you try to answer all those things in the course of the series. So he tried to really bring all those answers to bear, whether people would like the answers or not. Now, earlier in this interview, he's mentioning the fate of Kanan and how it's really important to answer that because so many people have been wondering why Kanan and Ezra aren't around in A New Hope. So even though I don't like this very much, I'm thinking Kanera isn't going to be a happy ending after all. But if you're a little depressed by all this, I suggest you check out my Kanera video on how they could survive and have the happy ending we'd like to see them have. But before you do, I have several comments from the video. In fact, I believe it's just one or two I wanted to share. The first is from KirklandTV, and he states that Hera could leave the rebellion for Kanan, or could not, leave the rebellion for Kanan. It would really need to be a traumatic event for Hera to leave the rebellion. I don't think she will stop until the last Star Destroyer burns down. A little overdramatic, I know. Ironically, her words to her father about the rebellion in season 2 are what makes me doubt she'd give up the responsibility until they or her end. Always love hearing from KirklandTV, but it sounds like he doesn't believe Kanera are going to survive season 4 either. On a more positive note, we have Abbey, and she's mentioning, or she writes, please, 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 this better happen. I can't have one without the other. I really hope this season comes to and have a happy ending, Abbey, but I don't think it's going to happen. If you haven't already, head on over to watch the video about Kanan and Hera's happy ending. I think it's a pretty decent theory I put together. It's about 3 months old, so I'm not quite as polished. Hopefully you've seen some sort of improvement in the channel since then, but I think it's still a solid theory. So my question of the day here, guys, is do you think Kanan could leave Hera and go into exile? Do you think that's a possibility? Or do you think he will die defending her and her family? So moving forward, if Kanera isn't going to be a thing after season 4, how do you think that's going to happen? Let me know which option you like best out of those two and the what I have presented in this video. If you haven't already, though, please head on over to the Force Within TV channel. Check it out, mostly Star Wars Rebels. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. And use the Force within you to make the Star Wars community a better place. Share your thoughts and ideas and encourage those who do the same. And as always, guys, may the Force be with you.